Day 6. Today I'm going to be talking about the 2 things in traditional Chinese dietary advice that people that I've talked to are most surprised about. So we know that food is an important part of how we feel and how we act, and a huge impact on our health. And there's more and more scientific studies coming out about that all the time. The hidden brain in the gut and the effects of allergies or intolerances, or all of these terms that we put around food that our body doesn't handle quite as well. In Chinese medicine, all that stuff is talked about, but it's talked about in a flow of harmony. So if you are disharmonious in some element or in some phase or some step in the digestion process, that's when you end up with an inability to tolerate food that is triggering that. So there's lots of advice for different conditions and different seasons and all sorts of things, but the 2 big things that people get surprised when I talk about the Chinese medical advice is not too much raw food, and don't worry and think too much while you're eating. So I'll explain both of them. Raw food is beneficial in some senses, and we definitely think of it as the be-all, end-all of health food in the Western health food kind of world. But in Chinese medicine, we talk about raw food being taxing on spleen and stomach qi. So the spleen and stomach is what organizes and distributes the nutrients that you take into your body. So the first step in that is for the stomach to break foods down. And we know this from, Western anatomy as well, that the stomach does a lot of work to break foods down. Raw foods, you have to do more work to break them down. And there are people who theorize that the reason that humans developed such big brains is because we had more available resources, more energy in our body because we were cooking food. So, cooking food is super beneficial for general qi, but particularly for spleen, stomach qi, that this thing that organizes your metabolism. The other thing is going to be for worrying and thinking too hard. If you're worrying while you're eating, you're not getting what you should be out of your food, because your spleen and stomach is taxed doing this other thing as well. I didn't describe why. Let me back up for a moment. Every organ has a emotion attached to it in Chinese medicine. So the emotion for the spleen and stomach is metabolizing anything. So that's food, that's thoughts, that's love from people around you. So when you're worrying, you're using your spleen, stomach qi to think really hard about something that might be that you're worried about, and you're trying to eat at the same time. So you can't organize your food, you can't distribute it right, you can't extract all of the benefit from your food that you normally would be able to. Same thing for studying or working really hard on a problem. While you're eating, you're doing both of them half as effectively. So you're not able to study as well, you're not able to retain the information, and you're not able to metabolize as well. You're not able to retain the qi and the nutrients from your food. That's everything for day 6. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you subscribe, and I hope to see you tomorrow.